here, but there should be audio here. So let's copy these two, copy, paste reference. So we should have audio right now. Super excited about this. This is a very awesome moment. I'm gonna close the live for a second. So we're having some problems with our video bitrate. Let's do 4,000 right now. Apply, okay. So Serum 2 just released, and I'm super excited about it because we have here in our DAW Serum 2. So hopefully the audio isn't too loud, but I'm gonna turn down the volume a little bit for you guys so it's not super loud. And here we are. Let's close all of these so you guys don't see the secret stuff that I'm working with for BLA. So I don't even know where to start. Like literally I just got Serum 2 here. And I have the live chat open, and I want to give a shout out to apop21. Greetings from Colombia. Hello there, apop. Thank you for joining the stream. So let me first share this to a few servers. So let's head on over here into Discord and let's share before actually starting this video here. I'm gonna also press record so I can edit this into a future video. So let's start recording here. And let's do a second at everyone so that people start joining. At everyone. Sorry for the second at. I'm super excited about showing. Serum 2. So if you wanna join me, we are now live. Great. So now that we officially made our announcement, shut up Me6, why did you do this? Delete message. Yes. So this is Serum 2, and let's set it a bit bigger so you guys can see it more properly. I think 150 is a good size. So basically Serum 2 is a updated version of Serum. As you guys can see, the interface is quite similar. It shares pretty much all of the same features that Serum had, the original Serum, but is now here in Serum 2, a Serum 2 version. We now have 3 oscillator engines. So we have oscillator A, oscillator B, and oscillator C. And we'll also have a sub oscillator. And before I continue with this live stream, I'm going to enable my camera here so I can record a B cam here. So I'm now recording on the camera so that I can make a video here once this live is finished. So this is Serum 2, and for those that are just joining the live, Serum 2 is a free update for Serum 1. So if you already own and bought Serum, that you can grab this free update for Serum, and this is basically what it looks like. It's a pretty similar style and interface from the original Serum, but there's a few new things that we're gonna check out, and we're gonna deep dive into Serum. So this is the first time that I ever opened Serum 2, and I'm super excited about it. So let's see what it is all about. So first of all, we have here, and the first thing that I noticed is that we have 3 oscillator now. We have oscillator A, oscillator B, and oscillator C. We have some really fun things here. So we have, of course, what we already knew, the wavetable positions. So something interesting that I just noticed now is that we started with our default shapes instead of just the basic saw. And we have more default shapes than what we had before. So we have some more aggressive full width waves here. And the order is different now. So we have this square saw here in the middle instead of the end. So that's really cool. We have our original massive wavetables, but now we have our Serum 2 wavetables here. So we have our digital and our analog here into a nice little carpet. So as you can see, original Serum filters and the new Serum wavetables. So we have our default wavetable position. We can adjust here the detune as we could in Serum 1. We have our classic 16 voices, and we have a cogwheel here. So now we can adjust. So before we had to go into the global settings to adjust these unison settings. Now we can do it here inside of the oscillator. So that's really awesome about it. So now we don't have to go into the global here. There are still some voice controls here. And there's S, A, B, C, N. So sub oscillator, oscillator A, oscillator B, oscillator C, and noise. And we can adjust here some parameters here on the advanced tab. But before, where we can, for example, set the width or the stereo to 0, negative 100. Now we can adjust it all here in our cogwheel here of the unison tab. And I don't know if I'm crazy, but it does sound sharper to me. I don't know if it's just a hype. We can also add the stacks, the linear, and the different modes here. It's all drop-down menus. We can select the range here of the detune knob, so how aggressive it goes here. Wavetable position, so we can add some cool. So we can, for example, if we had a cool wavetable where we wanted each voice to be in a different wavetable position, we can do that here. As well as with the warp modes here. So let's disable again our unison so that we can check out the warp modes, and we have a whole bunch of warp modes. But starting off, we have our classic sync here. We have here our bend plus. Let's set it to here down 2 octaves so that we can hear it as a bass. Bend minus. We have the bend plus and minus. So these are all classic warp modes that we had in Serum 1, the ASIMs, and the flip, mirror. So these are all the original warp modes. But now we have, for example, filter warping. So we have a low pass filter inside of the filter here of the oscillator, as well as a high pass filter. This sort of sounds like a 6 dB filter. It's a very shallow filter. It's not very aggressive or very sharp. We have some distortion here, so some tubes, so they add some crunch and distortion. We have a soft clip, and we can see here in the menu we have all of our classic original distortion shapes that were available in the distortion are now available here as warp modes in Serum 2. But I'm gonna skip those because if you had already Serum, then you already know how these works in sound. We have FM, so if I enable oscillator B and I go into the wavetable position and select a sine wave here, we have FM, but this FM sounds a bit different from our typical and our the FM that we're used to, because this FM sounds a little bit more interesting. Because this is actual real FM, so it's using real FM formulas to create that real FM sound that you'd get from your synthesizers. But if we want the classic FM from B sound from Serum 1, then we select here this PDB, which is phase distortion or um, phase modulation. So if we compare it to FM from B, this is what we're used to when we do FM from B. It's not FM from B, it's phase from B. That's what we're gonna call it now, PDB. We also have AM modulation here, so if we select really awesome, and we also get some ring modulation here. And this is really interesting now because since we have two warp modes here, I can, for example, select this FM tone. And for example, now I can select a high pass filter. And without using a actual filter, we have this modulation here. Or for example, a tube here. So number 1 goes into number 2, so that's an important thing to note in the order. We have our classic sub oscillator. This hasn't changed a bit. Now it has these cool icons, but other than that, we can double click here to open the menus here. Let's reset this into an initialized preset and let's check out the filters. So here in the filters, we have our normal filters, which are our classic filters. Everything here is our classic Serum 1 filters here. So let's see what's new in the Serum 2 filters here. And you guys can see, if you guys want to check out the Serum 2 filters, it's on the S2 filters here. So this is basically a warp filter, so it goes from low pass to high pass here. And in the middle, it is a notch here, as you guys can see, or a peak. Very cool. Next filter here, DJ mixer. It's basically how a filter for a DJ console works. So if you go and turn the knob to the right, it acts as a high pass. If you turn it to the left, it's a low pass. Really cool. This is a really weird one. I think this is going to be used a lot. This is basically a disperser. Yeah, I think this is definitely going to be used quite a bit because it has a sort of disperser sound. So it's sort of like an all pass. where you can adjust the intensity of the disperser effect. Yeah, that sounds super sick. Let's see what's next. We have a ladder filter. Oh, and this is, whoa, this is crazy. So this is sort of a filter that when you modulate the cutoff, so for example, if I do an aggressive cutoff, it has sort of like a smoothing effect that you guys can see here. So if so, it makes it so that it's less sharp when you're moving the cutoff here. So that's really awesome. So right now Serum 2 is a update to Serum 1. So if I load up here and I add a original Serum, we do have the original Serum available to use, as you guys can see. Serum 1 side by side to Serum 2. You can load all of your original Serum 1 presets. So as you guys can see here, I have my original Serum 1 presets here, and you can load them up. So all of the presets from Serum 1 are available for you to use in this folder here. So you don't have to worry about losing your Serum 1 presets, because they work perfectly here inside of Serum 2, as you guys can see. And you get all of the features that you can now add to those original presets. So you can, for example, update your old presets and create new sounds with this. It's one of the biggest features here in Serum 2. But if you still want to use Serum 1, then you still have access to Serum 1 by just loading and using Serum 1, because they do come in different plugins. It's not that you now upgrade into Serum. You're not upgrading your Serum 1 into Serum 2. You still have Serum 1. You can use Serum 2, and your Serum 1 presets work inside of Serum 2. Sorry for that. So continuing, we were checking out the filters here. So we were in the ladder filter, we had an acid filter, and it also has the smooth knob. And this one has some really awesome harmonic resonance down here. PC volume is a little bit up, so let's turn down the PC volume a little bit more. Let's turn it down to -12 here, so it's in the safe spot here. Sweet spot, safe spot. So this acid filter has some really nice resonance, and I wonder how it sounds if I turn up the drive. Oh shit, that's so loud. Ah, that sounds super sick. So let's reset this and let's see the EMS filter, what it does. Again, it's another low pass filter, but this one is a more shallower filter. But it has a really interesting resonance. So each one of these low pass filter has different resonance styles. So let's see the MG30. This one has a sort of Moog style filtering effect. And then we have the pain here, which is basically just boosting or giving it drive to the sound. Oh, it's doing a crazy amount of distortion and drive. Jesus. And the lower you go in the cutoff, the more aggressive the drive is. And I really love how the resonance sounds here. Yeah, this is a really awesome filter, this MG30. So, PZSV. What does this do? I have no idea what this does. What is this? Yeah, I have no idea what this does. Oh, okay, so this is an EQ inside of your... So you draw your own filter shape here, so it's a custom filter. Okay. Okay, this is really awesome. So you adjust different stages of the... Okay, okay, okay. Okay, this is really awesome. This is like... So you can draw, you can create your own filter shapes. This is really cool. So how does this work? I'm not sure how does it work. I see we have 4 stages here, but how do we adjust the stages for each? I'm guessing it's for each of the cutoff points it has a different stage. I'm not too sure about how this filter system works, honestly. But it's really awesome that we get a customizable filter. So now we have a calm filter. For those rhythm bros that like to do rhythm. Wait, this is a dual calm filter, so we have 2 calms in one filter. And we can add drive into this calm filter. This is really wild. Exponential MM. So basically a low pass and a high pass in one filter. There's not a lot of similar filters, but a lot of things that changes the curve of the filter, so how aggressive the cutoff is of the low pass or the high pass, as well as the resonant effects here of each of the filters. And this pretty much all of the filters here. So as you guys can see, exponential, so it's very subtle the amount of resonance that you add, and then when you reach a certain number, it just completely boosts into like an extreme amount of resonance here. So this is really nice for subtle adjustments here in the low end, or very aggressive adjustments in the high end. Very cool. So what's next for us to check out? So we haven't checked out the other engines here because we have a few different engines. So for example, we have a multi-sample engine here, and this one's really interesting because this basically works as a contact library. So as you guys can see, it tracks velocity and key presses. So you have 3 rows of velocity sensitivity. So we have our very sensitive velocity. And we have different notes. And we have a whole bunch of instruments here, and we can use sound font libraries, so that's really awesome. I wonder, for example, synth. So you have a sample Juno synth here. And for those wondering how you can get Serum 2 from Splice, Splice is already sending out upgrade emails, so just stay tuned on your email because you're gonna get a email on how to upgrade. They do take a little bit longer, but since you have a Serum account when you bought Splice, when you bought Serum through Splice, you get a Serum account, so you can log in using your same Splice account into Xfer Records site, and you can download Serum 2 from there. If I disable velocity tracking, we can adjust the segments that we're referencing our notes from here with the timbre, so that's really awesome. I'm not sure what's doing the velocity sensitivity though. I wonder if there's nothing routed here, so that's really interesting. And I'm not sure how you can edit these samples, so I'm not sure if you can even edit these samples. But you can load SFZ files. So if you have already a few libraries in SFZ format, you can load them now into Serum 2. That's really awesome. Let's see what else we have here. So very nice, the multi-sample engine. I wonder how this is gonna compete with already established samplers, like for example Contact, Expand 2, which are already known for doing this. That you're now able to do this inside of Serum. So I wonder how that's gonna compete, because again, you can do this inside of Serum. So for example, I can have this trumpet sound and then have this oscillator B. Select here FM from A or PD from A. And have this really cool tone from the multi-sample routed into the FM from oscillator B. And create this really cool hybrid sound. That's really the beauty of Serum 2, because this is a hybrid synthesizer. You can create this blend of samples with oscillators. That creates a really awesome sound. I'm really stoked about it. So let's again initialize this. We have the sample engine, which is the same as a multi-sample, but it's just one simple sample here. So we have the scan rate, so it's the velocity on which it's scanning the notes. Oh, and this gave me an idea for a super awesome Reese bass right here. We can reverse the samples here. We have our warp modes here with the single sample. I don't believe I saw that. Oh, we do have them also with the multi-sample, so that's awesome. But we also have them here. Really awesome. We can select if it's a one shot, if it's looped. If we are looping it forward backward loops, we can select here the loop section here by doing so. I saw that there is a option to fade the loop. I'm not sure how it was done. So here left and right, loop fade here. So this is gonna be really creative, for example, vocal chops and everything. We can even select wave tables here now. So now we can play wavetables as sample now, so it's really awesome, honestly. So this is gonna be really awesome. I can't wait to see what creative things people start to come up with these new sound design methods. So let's see our next. Oh, this is really awesome. So if I switch from the sample engine to the granular engine, it keeps the sample that I have loaded. So for example, if I select a synth sample, I wish I had a key sound. If we now switch into the granular engine, oh, we can even add the warping into the granular. That's really sick. We can select here the shape of the grains. That's really awesome. It's pretty basic here for granular engines. So if you use granular synthesis before, this shouldn't be a stranger to you. You should already know what each of these curves is doing. Which is doing the scan? Oh, okay. Now I understand what's happening. So we can't choose the amount of voices. But if we disable the scan, this is gonna be so basically you have a full granular engine inside of Serum 2 now. This is gonna be making sound design again really impressive. I'm just blown away with the amount of features that we have here, and then we have here our spectral. So I'm not sure how the spectral one works, but I'm sort of guessing that it works like Harmor. So if you own Harmor, if you've used Harmor before, you already know sort of how spectral synthesis works. That you add a note, it turns it into the spectral image, and then it creates sound based of that image. We can have a filter here. Ooh, this is a spectral filter, so I can... Oh, okay, so you know how when you press edit on Harmor, you can create this really cool sort of tones here, and you can select this sort of EQing the spectral image of the note. This is really awesome. The spectral engine is going to be very interesting, especially for designing neural bases. So let's try and add a um, default shape here. Ah, that sounds wild. I think it's gonna work better with let's search for a saw. I want a saw sound, so maybe analog warp. So on the spectral engine, it limits you to 7 voices. I'm guessing that's very CPU intensive for it to limit to 7 voices. So the limit is 7 for here. I really don't know what to use the spectral engine for, but I know that it must be for making some really crazy sounds. But it's such a weird thing, but let's see what's available here. But I'm guessing that it sort of works like the Harmor engine. So if you're an expert sound designing in Harmor, then this spectral engine must be a really nice treat for you to use now here. So we check out all of the engines here. Let's go back into the wavetable engine with our default shape, and let's check out first of all, I want to check out the LFOs. I'm gonna add a basic here high notch filter. The workflow is super similar to Serum, the OG Serum. So if you've been sound designing with Serum, this is gonna be the exact same thing. The workflow is exactly the same. You're not gonna feel like you're pressing things the wrong way. It's just literally the same thing. But I want to see what these path filters things are. or the chaos. Ah, this is so awesome. And this is super trippy, like, that's super cool. Ooh, now you get a sample and hold here. It's gonna be really cool for ARP sounds. Oh, you get a full in. Oh, you get a complete sequencer now here. So now if I enable the clip here, this turns it Serum into a sequencer. Wow, this is amazing. Now you have a full integrated sequencer inside of Serum. And now you get also Cthulhu here integrated into Serum. So if you own Cthulhu, Cthulhu is a ARP machine on steroids. And you can adjust and you can edit. Wait, how do I edit the pattern? Erase pattern. Wait, how do I? Okay, I don't know how. I know that the key presses here changed the note that you're triggering here. Okay, so it's here in the pattern area. Okay, so we figured that one out. Perfect. We have a whole bunch of different styles of. That's really awesome how many ARP patterns are available now integrated inside of Serum, so now you don't have to manually draw your ARPs. You can just use the ARP machine here inside of Serum. That's super cool. So now making those dead mouse intros is gonna be a lot easier now. And you can see, and you can output the MIDI. Whoa, so I can go here, I can select MIDI out here, output port, and play my ARP sequence inside of another synthesizer. So now I don't need Cthulhu anymore. I can just use this as a MIDI effect here for my Arpeggiator, and this is really amazing. Wow, I'm surprised. This is actually pretty shocking. I didn't expect this. I can add some swing to my playing here. I can transpose, change the key, oscillator mapping. Wow. This is really amazing how much things are happening here. Now we have a mixer here inside of Serum because there's so many things happening now that we can adjust the volume, adjust the filter routing here inside of this section here. And I noticed that we have two filters here, so I can enable filter 1, filter 2. And here we can select even buses, so we haven't even gotten into the effects here. Buses here are in the mixer, so I'm guessing that you first sound design here inside the oscillator I think you can sound design here inside of the oscillator, add the filters, then you can mix and send things into buses, right? So we have bus number 2, have bus number 1, and then it goes into the main. But I wonder, oh, you can now add bus effects inside of Serum. That's really awesome. For example, I can add some effects here inside of the main and have sounds go into the bus. So for example, I can have a dedicated delay bus, I can have a dedicated reverb bus now here inside of Serum. So this is really awesome. If I can close down the modulations here to have a better view of the effects, because I did notice that we have a whole bunch of effects and then we can add multiple of the same effects. So for example, I can go crazy and add this is the bypass filter. I can set it to multi-band here, and I can copy, paste, paste, wait, copy. I should be able to add multiple. I can right click here, add compressor. Now we can have 3 OTTs. Now we have 3 OTTs inside of Serum. So I wonder how this is gonna make creating growls, creating sound design, because this is just amazing. You can have an unlimited amount of effects now, so you can add even more amounts of OTT. We can go really crazy and just completely squash this sound with OTT now. Let's disable of these and see. So we have this bode. Let's disable the filter for now so that we can hear what this is doing. I'm not sure what this does. Why would they have this notch here? I'm not too sure what's happening. Okay. So that's... I can sort of hear what it's doing. But it's such a subtle effect. You can barely notice it, but I notice that it's adding some harmonics. So what's the next effect here? We have the chorus. I think this is the same chorus even. Oh, I know what's happening. We're adding things into the bus effect. We have to add them to the main effect. Oh, this is crazy. Let's see next. Chorus. Yeah, this is the same chorus as the original, as well as with the compressor. Now we have a convolution reverb, so that means that I can add recorded reverb sounds. That's really great. It's gonna be very interesting for physical modeling sounds if you get some recordings of some really interesting resonances and stuff. So for example, let's see. That sounds really awesome for some trance sounds or some house sounds. We got our classic delay. This is again the same delay as the original Serum, so I'm not gonna check it out. This also looks like the original distortion here from from the original Serum. I think it even has the same distortion curve, so nothing new here in the distortion area. Let's see. We get the same equalizer, nothing new here as well, other than the design. So we do have a new design here with Serum now, but this effect is the same. Filter, again, this is the same thing, exactly the same thing as the original Serum. And I'm guessing that a lot of things are the same because since we get backward compatibility with the original Serum, we need to be able to be backward compatible. So a lot of the effects has to be the same and can't be updated, and instead we added new ones. So yeah, the hyper dimension, same thing. We do get a little bit of presets here on each of the effect modules, so that's a really nice addition. The phaser is the same, so let's see. Reverb, low high splitter. This one sounds really interesting. So now we can split and add effects to the low end and to the high end. So that's really awesome. Low, mid, highs, or okay. So you can select one split. So we can add a frequency split. We also get a utility, really useful. We have a mid-side split. So this is really awesome for some mid-side EQing. So for example, we can cut the low end of the sides. So it's really interesting how we can do proper mixing now here inside on Serum 2. And since we get Serum 2 effect, we can use this as our master bus pretty much. So there should be in the factory, maybe there's a mastering. Okay, so there's not a mastering preset here, but you can use this for mastering main effect bus here. So let's see if there's a master bus. So there is no master bus, but you could definitely use this to master a song just because of this split and all of the flexible modulations that you get here. And then we have the matrix, we have the global interface, and this is pretty much Serum 2. This is basically what you get. It's Serum, but upgraded, but better. I do have a lot of questions. I do want to sound design. I usually just want to play around and see all of the new things that I can do, but I'm really grateful that I can load up here, go into my user folder, go into my 2025, and just be able to play my original presets here in Serum now. So for example, if I use my Virtual Riot inspired preset pack, which you can purchase in blacklotusaudio.com, you can now use it into Serum 2. And since I'm using FM from B in Serum 1, now it's updated to PDB. It's really awesome. You guys can see it's using all of the effects here that I had in my original preset, now updated and transferred into Serum 2. And we now have a updated preset manager, so that's really awesome. That's really great that we now have a more organized preset manager. So now we can add categories, your descriptions and all that, and have it be neatly organized. We can even add tags here inside of Serum now. So this was basically a deep dive into Serum. So these are all of the new features, all of the first impressions and reactions from me of Serum 2. So I'm really excited about the future of Serum, the future of music, of EDM, sound design, dubstep. this is gonna completely revolutionize, because a lot of, if not most, producers already own Serum. So this free update is gonna give producers tools that they probably never had. So for example, your first synth that you bought and your only synth was Serum, now you get a Granular engine, now you get a spectral engine, and you get so many new features that maybe you've never touched and never sound designed with before. And it's gonna be a really amazing breakthrough in your music. It's gonna give you a lot of endless possibilities. For my feature video, I do want to compare it to Pigments, because a lot of features are similar to Pigments, and I do want to compare them side by side, Serum 2 versus Pigments, because I think Serum 2 is rivaling two big synths at the moment. So we have Pigments by Arturia, and we have Matt Tidal Vital, which is a free alternative to Serum. It's really interesting the place that Serum 2 is right now, and I have no opinions and no thoughts on what could happen right now in the industry with the release of Serum 2. I do believe Pigment 6 is a better overall synth when compared to Serum, but I'm gonna have to do a video and talk all about that. So if you guys want to see that, definitely subscribe to the channel so that you guys see when I drop my Pigments versus Serum 2 comparison. But it was just a first look at Serum. So if you guys like this video, definitely like and subscribe. This was a live video that I'm gonna edit in the future. So if you're right now listening to this, you're gonna be a bit confused on why I'm saying for you to like and subscribe. But I'm gonna edit and compress this video so it's not as long for those that are watching for the first time. So thank you guys for joining the live. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. As always, like and subscribe. This is Soundkiller, and I'll see you in the next one. And for those that are in the stream, thank you guys so much for joining the stream and for checking this video out. I'm really excited about Serum 2. I believe Serum 2 website is now up, so you can go and grab a copy of Serum 2. So if you own the original Serum, Serum 2 is available to download for free. So thank you guys so much for watching this live. This was Serum 2. I'm really excited on what's gonna happen in the industry. But it was Soundkiller, and I'll see you